Hey everyone, and welcome back to Drawing Guidance Tutorials. In this video, you're gonna learn how to draw Ivysaur from Pokemon. Alright guys, right here I have the outline of Ivysaur that I've already done. So, of course, I'll be showing you guys how to do all of this. Now, my method is pretty simple, alright? So, basically, I'll be using the layer to kind of separate the artwork. So, first we have the dot layer, basically this layer right here. So you basically see a lot of dots on the screen right here. Now this is what I call by the guides layer or dots layer or whatever. Alright, now this layer right here is basically the masterpiece layer, or the layer where you're going to show people. Right now, if you're doing this on a piece of paper, I would recommend that if you're going to use don't use dots, use crosses. Alright, and make sure you don't press down your pencil so hard. Just draw them lightly. Alright, without any strength, just lightly draw a cross at the points where there are dots. Alright, so for example, this dot over here, if you're doing on a piece of paper, replace it with an X. Now the reason is because I know that some of you have got a tendency to kind of darken your circle. So for example, you draw one, you draw it again to make sure that it looks round. I know this because I do that. Right, I have a tendency to kind of do this. Right, so yeah, just use a cross. It's the simplest because it's just one and one. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're not going to keep darkening it. Right, now remember not to use so much strength, just do it light. Right, for those of you who are doing it on a device, good for you, you have this GD layers. Alright, so okay, let's delete this. Okay, so on the screen you should have two blank layers like this. Right, okay, so obviously you already be given one layer, that's basically your base layer, so you need to create another layer. Alright, so as explained before, this layer right here is where we're going to do the dots, and this layer right here is where we're going to connect all the lines. Alright, so now let's start off with doing the dots right now. Now for doing the dots, you're using this app or the sketchbook. I would just recommend you to use the paintbrush. Alright, of course you can use basically you can use any brush, okay, as long as it's a circle like this. I wouldn't really recommend you use this kind of brushes. Okay, of course, the simplest would just be the paintbrush. Okay, now all these brushes that you see over here are completely free. There's no need to buy additional add-ons or anything. No, it's free. It's given on the app when you download it. Alright, even if you're doing it on a mobile device, for example a Samsung phone, this is all given to you, so there's no need. Okay, maybe not everything, but the brushes that I'll be using for this whole drawing, and you can basically use them for mostly all drawings, they're all free, so there's no need to buy anything. It's completely free. Downloading the app is technically completely free too. There's no need to pay anything. Okay, now of course there are some add-ons, but never mind about that. Alright, so as I was saying, we'll be using the paintbrush to do the dots. Alright, now first I would like to start off with this point right here. Okay, so this point, okay, you're going to draw a curve. It goes all the way up over here. Alright, next, okay, so we're going to do the whole head first. Okay, and then you guys can pause the video and take down these lines. Alright, now of course I'm referring this to my returning viewers, but if you're new, basically how we do things is that whenever I place some dots, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can actually see this line over here, so whenever I tell you guys to kind of like pause the video, I mean you can pause the video anytime you feel like. Alright, so if you feel that you can absorb the information all the way until I don't know where, then good for you. But the points that I'm telling you to pause the video is kind of like the recommended places. Alright, so yeah, now this curve over here, and somewhere along the line, okay, maybe half point or slightly this side, you're gonna place another point. Alright, don't worry about that, we'll get onto that later. Now over here you're gonna make a line that goes like this, just a short one, right? Next we're gonna bring it up, okay, just a little bit, straight line, and you're gonna curve. Okay, now don't worry if this eye over here seems a little bit freaky. If you zoom out, it looks a little bit freaky. Now don't worry, you've seen the thumbnail. Basically this is how the eye look like. So colors really do give a lot of impression. Alright, now you're gonna draw one big curve over here. This is basically representing its ear. Alright, its ear, E-A-R. Alright, okay, now over here you're going to extend it down until about over here. Okay, next you're going to draw another curve. Okay, and from this point you're going to bring it all the way down. Basically this creates the second ear. So you're done with the face, you have the first and second ear. Alright, so now we won't get into this eye first, and the mouth we can do it on the later part, alright, because it's really simple. So once I have a big amount of space over here, doing this part should be pretty easy. Alright, so remember to switch the layer, okay, because you guys can kind of pause the video right now, but please switch the layer, because if you don't switch the layer and draw it on the dots layer right here, unfortunately you might have to delete the whole thing and redo again. So yeah, please, it's really important to switch the layer. So yeah, you guys can pause the video right now. Okay, so once we're done with that, we are going to move on and do this part right here, the first leg. Alright, so now the point that you bring down over here can be a bit longer, can be a bit shorter, it doesn't matter, but from the point over here you're going to create 2 additional points. Okay, the more towards, for example, let me show you guys with a ruler. So at this point over here, okay, it's a bit down. To me, I kind of saw this as the half point over here. Okay, so it's going to be below the half point. I'll recommend maybe about a third and a quarter. Alright, now this layer right here, the guides layer, alright, you can mess it up how much you want, because in the end you are going to delete this layer. So yeah, you can draw this marker lines over here, whatever you want to do, just draw it. Alright, as long as it helps you to visualize the picture. Okay, now from this point right here, you're going to bring it down. Okay, and from over here you're going to plot a point. Okay, so it goes down. Okay, maybe over here too you may want to plot a point. Now you can also plot a point somewhere, you know, if you want it can be in the middle, you want can be a bit over here, if you want can be at this point right here, if you want can be below, up to you. Alright, because this point right here, it isn't really so imperative that you know you get the exact point, the location. No, you can just maybe do it over here, over here. So let's say we're going to choose this point right here. Okay, so why did I mark down 2 points over here? Basically curves, right, and it goes like this, and from this point it kind of turns and goes down all the way until nearly the bottom of the canvas. Okay, so note that I didn't bring it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now this part is actually quite easy, alright, because in most drawings, well, you can't actually do this. I mean, you can't actually really, you know, figure out where you're going to go, but this is really good, because all you need to do is just judge by a curved line. Alright, then you judge how big your canvas is to which point over here you want to bring it down. That's all. Alright, and for most drawings, Charmeleon, Charmander, Charizard, all the kind of drawings that I've done so far, except for Pikachu. Okay, all the other drawings, they're kind of complex that, you know, I couldn't really judge on how far down they were going to go. So that's why for those videos it took me quite a, doing the lines, the design wasn't hard. It was figuring out how tall the object needed to be. So for this drawing it's pretty easy, it's just one curve down, you judge it. Alright, so from this point you're going to curve, and the simplest part is right here. Okay, So I like to say to my audience, you're going to make a U shape right here, a curve, and a straight line up. Next, we're going to draw a line. Again, you're going to do the same U shape. If you want, you can make this sharp, or if you want, you can just do what I did, and like this, right? Again, you are going to make a U shape. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's actually a U shape, and it curves this way. Okay, so from the third point right here. Okay, now no, this is quite important. All right, if you're going to do three claws, then you need to have 3 claws for all of them. Alright, you can't have 3 on one leg and 4 on the other leg and 2 on the other leg. No, it has to be consistent. Alright, so the third point right here, or fourth point, or how many what do you call this, claws, nails, whatever, right? How many of them you're doing, you at the end, the tip of this, the U over here, the tip of it, the highest peak, you're going to draw a curved line like this, right? So basically, if you kind of see it, it basically just shows one leg like this. Okay, now you're going to extend a point. It can be over here, can be over here, can be over here, not so important. All right, so for example, this point right here, you're going to curve it down. So basically, this line over here, you can see, right, is basically kind of showing the underbelly of it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's basically what it's trying to show. If you really want, look at it from going down from this perspective over here. Okay, some of you may be able to see it, some of you may not be able to see it, but how I think of it is, look at this leg right, the next leg that we're about to do, right? Now I kind of okay, so in a creature Ivysaur, you know that there's 4 legs, right? Okay, if you guys don't know, there's actually 4 legs on Ivysaur, Venusaur, and Bulbasaur, just in case. So 1, 2, and 3. Where's the 4th leg? Pretty simple. This leg's over here, and the 4th leg is somewhere inside over here. And basically, this line right here shows the underbelly if you are looking at it from this point. So that's why the line is cut and it connects back over here. Okay, if you're not able to get it, don't worry, I'm actually making a layers perspective video as we speak. I'm actually doing some ideas, I'm just brainstorming on how to explain. So that video will come up pretty soon. Alright, so just stick around for it. But in the meantime, I'm not so sure if some people can see it, some people can see it, some may not. Alright, it's just a fact. Okay, but I hope you guys can see it. Alright, so from this point right here, you're going to draw a long curved line like this. Okay, this basically represents doing the second leg over here. Now, you know what I love about this drawing? Is that doing the legs is just so simple. Alright, it's basically just making a curved line and another curved line, a curved line and another curved line, and that's basically how you do a leg. It's really simple. And doing the claws or the toes or whatever you want to call it, basically just making a U shape with an extended line, a U shape like this, okay, and another U shape, and of course it connects, and it connects on, and it connects like this. Okay, now of course you can have 2 lines connecting, you can have 1 line connecting with the other 2 connecting together already, up to you. Alright, now the same concept again. From the highest point over here, you're going to draw a curve that goes somewhere maybe down here or down here. The line isn't really so important. Alright, what's more important is how big you make the leg. Alright, remember this is Ivysaur, and from the scale that I'm drawing, okay, in case you don't know, it's actually 1100 by 1100 size. You need to make the leg look big. Alright, you can't have such a big drawing like this at the top with skinny chicken legs. Alright, no, it has to be thick, it has to be meaty, it has to be big. Alright, okay, so now from this line right here, you're going to continue all the way up. So basically, to do this part over here, just take a curve ruler, okay, connect one point, this point right here, connect the other point right here, and just draw them. Okay, that's basically how you do it. Alright, so if mine looks a bit different, okay, then yours, it doesn't matter. Alright, just take a curve ruler, make 2 points like this. Of course, one point is going to be higher than the other, and just curve them like this. Make sure that the second leg right here, there's going to be a gap. Alright, so now we're going to move on to doing the third leg. So this video is actually pretty easy. Alright, it's a pretty easy drawing just to do the basics of it. The hard part is doing the butt, not B-U-T-T, B-U-D. Alright, the butt. This is basically the part over here. Okay, so if you're wondering how to do this, very simple. Alright, I'll teach you guys in a minute. So again, the same concept again, makes a U shape, connects down, makes a U shape again, connects down, make a U shape with straight line, it connects down at the tip over here. You have one line, and remember the point that I was talking about in the very beginning of this video? You draw this line, and I say plot the point over here. Well, that actually makes the third leg over here, and we're not going to do a fourth leg because, as I said, it's somewhere buried inside right there. Okay, so you are basically done with the general outline. Alright, because you can find this outline over here in the Bulbasaur video. So it's exactly the same. Okay, basically the fundamental concepts are explained in both the Bulbasaur video and in the Ivysaur video, and hopefully in the Venusaur video as well. Now we're going to talk about doing this part right here. Now this part and this part, basically the same concept. Alright, very simply how I looked at it, alright, when I was reference drawing, what I found was that basically just a straight line, and it goes in like this, and it comes out. So basically I'm making sharp points at the inner part, and that's what I did for this whole part right here. So now the sizes can vary, up to you. So for example, this part I drew it like this. If you want, you can draw it long. Nobody really cares. Okay, you can draw it as how long as you want. Alright, basically the main idea that we want is a straight line, a line that goes down, straight line that goes down, and a straight line that goes up like this, and it makes a sharp point over here. And that's basically how you do this whole part right here. Okay, so now at this point over here, when I was saying, you know, make the marker and all that, okay, remember I told you guys to make 2 points right here. Okay, so we'll be using the point, the higher point, basically the quarter point. Okay, so to me this point was 1/3 and this point was 1/4. Alright, now this is just how it looks to me from my eyes. Alright, basically just take the higher point. Alright, and I also said that these 2 points right here, if you want you can make them higher, if you want you can kind of make them a bit lower. It doesn't matter too much, just make sure that they're somewhere along this vicinity over here. You can't make this point too high up over here, you can't make this point too low over here like this. Make sure that it's just somewhere down here. Alright, so basically just use this same structure and you should be able to do it. Now remember again, what makes a good drawing is the variety of drawing styles. Right, so basically this was longer, same height, longer. One of them should have actually gone shorter down a bit to make it look better, but basically what this part over here is actually a fern. Okay, so if you guys have no idea what a fern is, look it up on Google, and you should see with the color that I'm about to do in the later part of this video, you would see that it's somewhat the same. Alright, looking at terms of the outline. Okay, now remember to make sure that it goes. Alright, you can't just do it like this and goes like this. Alright, so you need to know how to transition on when it curves. Okay, so how do you do it? Now imagine you're starting off over here, you're done, and you're coming towards the edge of the canvas. Alright, so I'm gonna make a line that goes like this. Okay, it goes like this, it goes down, goes up, it's still making the sharp point. Alright, and you're not changing anything, and it kind of goes the other way. Okay, so if you know everything, we're following one general motion, and at this point right here where you're feeling it's coming towards the end, you're going to extend it like this, extend it like this, extend it like this, extend it like this, and of course follow on the same general motion all the way until it transitions on to the next curving point right here. Okay, so that's basically how you do the transition. Okay, now again, even when you're doing the transition, it's still gonna be the same old concepts. It's still just going to be the same straight line with, so a straight line right here with a sharp point at the bottom. Alright, now of course, if you want, you can make it a bit better. Okay, ideas are completely up to you. Alright, if you want, you can draw something inside over here, up to you. But just to make this drawing as easy as possible, that's what actually it is. Okay, so now over here, okay, think of it as this sharp point right here. Okay, just instead of continuing on somewhere down here and it moves on again and it connects down here. Okay, so if we kind of look at it, it looks kind of cut off, right? See, it looks kind of short and then it just cuts off. So think of it another way is perspective, that it goes down over here like this and connects on over here. Okay, so that's pretty much over here and it connects on. Think of it that way. Alright, now let's do the other part over here. Okay, now this part over here can completely differ. If you want to do this part first, okay, I mean, when I say by differ, I don't mean that you're going to put this part over here and this part over here. No. I'm talking about if you want to do the bud first, then the fern, go ahead. Or if you want to do what I'm going to do, the fern first and then the bud, up to you too. Basically, the only difference is that you're determining the factor. Okay, so basically the factor is, I mean, you guys learn in math, right? So, basically, what's the constant, right? So if you're going to do this first, okay, that means we're determining how much space we're going to give this. Okay, and the remaining space over here is basically what you're allocating to the bud over here. Now, completely fine if you want to do the bud first. Alright, for beginner, I'd recommend you do the bud first. But it's kind of weird saying it. Okay, so you do the bud first and then you're going to do this. Okay, now when I was doing this, I'm sorry to say, but I did the fern first. Now the reason for this is because it isn't so big. As you can see, it's just a couple of parts over here, and again, because most of the parts down here are actually inside, as represented by this small portion over here. It's a small portion, but you can really interpret it a lot. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to do this fern first. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with doing this small part by just doing this. Okay, it kind of shows that, you know, there's something else in there, right? But it's been cut off because of the year and, well, of course, all this. Okay, now part of the year over here, you can choose the midpoint like this over here. You are going to draw a straight line, and of course, again, you're going to be using the same concept, the straight line sharp point. Alright, so just do it all over again. Now again, if you want, you can make them different lines, I mean different sizes, same size, all up to you. Okay, so for me over here at the third point right here, okay, so I mean like the 1, 2, 3, and at this point right here, technically I want to count this as a point too, because in a way this is actually just a point that's been cut off, so it's still a point. Alright, so 1, 2, and 3, and of course we have this line right here, so in a way it's kind of saying 3.5. okay, and over here is going to make a curve. Okay, or if you remember very carefully, it's a straight line that goes up to this point right here and a curve. Okay, but don't worry about that, because once we're done with this part right here, so you're gonna finish off doing this part first. Okay, basically the part that's facing the butt over here. Now this part over here doesn't really matter so much because you still got this whole space right here to do. So you want to extend it like this, up to you. Okay, now for me, of course, because I'll be doing the oral later, so just to play it safe, I want to do a bit short first. All right, so now do the butt is pretty simple. Once you finish making the curve over here, you are going to add in a couple of sharp points right here, or as I like to call them, triangles. So basically add in 1, 2, 3, and this part over here will be 4. So we're going to add in 4 triangles. Okay, now this point over here is going to curve all the way down to this point right here, and this point is going to curve not towards the ending, not too high, not too low. Okay, so now again this point right here, so want to make a half point first. Okay, I think this looks somewhere half. Okay, I mean, to me this looks like a half point. Okay, so if you want, you're gonna break it up like this and like this. Okay, for 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and so give or take is about at a quarter point over here. Now of course, I'm not saying that this exact measurement, I can clearly see that this much bigger than this, but it's a rough measurement. Alright, it doesn't need to be exact. So if you want, you can bring it a bit lower, you can bring it slightly higher, but I think by far this is the highest point that you should go to. Alright, so from whatever point that you find out your curve over here, you're going to draw a point. You're going to bring it up, bring it down, bring it up. So you're going to make 1, 2 triangles. Okay, now from one of the points over here, okay, now I'm pretty sure that when you're doing all this, okay, and when you reach this point, so you're going to curve it down like this over here first, right? Because you're going to see this point over here is going in this motion, and this is going in the opposite motion right here. Okay, pretty clear cut. Now when you're doing all this, okay, some of you may have different lines, right? Obviously, because I'm not there to kind of actually really guide you. Okay, you're just seeing this from a screen, so when you're using your ruler, when you measure something, it looks different. Okay, maybe you may have longer lines or you may have shorter lines, but basically at this point where when it curves down, it should connect down to at least one of your straight lines. Okay, now if it really connects down to the middle over here, then congrats to you, because it means that you have actually kind of you are really precise. Okay, if you really want that, if you really want to be extremely precise, what you can do, okay, this is kind of like a cheat, right? So basically you're going to curve it down, okay, and you find wherever it's going to hit, sorry. And so basically you're going to erase some parts over here, and you're going to try and force it to make it in the middle. Now I'm not saying that you should do this, alright, I'm just saying that if this actually happens, okay, when you do it and coincidentally it happens, or you purposely measured and make it happen, congrats to you, you're lucky and you're skilled. But if it, for example, this point over here hits this over here, or it hits somewhere over here, it's okay, it's completely fine. Alright, there's nothing to worry about, you're still doing it correctly. Okay, but if this point hits somewhere where, I don't know, maybe somewhere over here or somewhere over here, can either try to curve it a little bit more. I mean, I obviously won't ask you to curve it like this. Okay, no, just slightly try and curve it slightly more, alright, until it hits at least the line over here. So this line to this point right here. Anyway, that's good enough. Okay, now we're basically done with the whole section over here. Okay, we haven't done the butt. Okay, so we're basically almost done. Now doing this part over here is completely up to you. Alright, it is basically where you let your imagination fly. If you want to do it long, and well, I'm not so sure, if you want to maybe, you know, try and imagine it to be cut out. Don't do that, because if you do that, it means that this part over here has to be bigger and this part over here has to be longer, so that it kind of fits in the proportion. Alright, so the safest way to play it, just put it around the same level as the part over here, maybe the same height. Alright, don't make it too long. Alright, now where can you let your imagination fly? Basically doing the lines right here, just like this. Okay, now same story as it goes over here. Basically it's kind of cut off. Sorry, we're looking at this over here. Okay, find the resemblance, a straight line like this. Okay, sharp point, straight line. Okay, so that's the fun thing about drawing actually. Whenever you're doing one part or a part that looks the same, for example like this, there's always going to be somewhat, there will always be a connection. Okay, being patterns or even being where the points cut off. Okay, there's always going to be somewhere there's going to be a pattern. Alright, I bet that. So now doing the eyes is very simple. Okay, let's come back to the face. Now very simply what you're going to do is something like doing this part over here. Okay, maybe somewhere like this. Okay, because we kind of want to see this. So I'm going to make one point over here. It's going to be curved. You're going to curve it again, okay, to another point, and this point will be curved. So basically making three curved lines right here, and it should look something like this, kind of like the claw from, I don't even see over here or over here, but just pointing this way. Okay, now from this point over here, you're going to create another curved line, and from this point over here, you are going to create 3 more points. Basically this kind of, this signals the eyeball. Okay, now if you want to do the eyeball, okay, facing like this, okay, all you need to do is just put 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now to me, doing 4 points like this kind of signals like, do a circle, connect them together. Okay, now yes, to be obvious, if not, you're gonna kind of do this. Okay, I mean, I'm not so sure, but I mean, to me, doing 4 points kind of signals draw a circle. Okay, that's to me. Okay, now doing the other eye, you're going to create another short point over here. Don't make it too long. Okay, beware of that. So from this point to the second point over here, you're going to connect them, and from this point to this point, somewhere around the middle, you're going to connect them again, and you're going to make another point over here, and you're going to connect it like this. Okay, so at the top you have 3 points right here, at the bottom you should have 2 points. Okay, now doing the mouth, basically you take 1 point over here, can be a bit longer, can be a bit shorter, curve up to this point, so it goes like this, and you're going to curve it down the opposite way. Okay, now doing the spots over here, okay, the spots over here are kind of optional. Okay, if you don't want to do that, don't do that. Okay, basically for Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, they'll basically have these green patches over here. Okay, now I kind of did a few of them. Okay, if you want to do it, I recommend the body, the torso over here, do 2 points, do 2 patches. The legs, give them each of them 1. Okay, how do you do this part over here? Pretty simple. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate one. Of course, you guys can do any pattern you like. For example, I've done the rectangle, the square, this part over here, but of course the common one that you'll see in the anime is either this or this. Okay, how do you do them? It's very simple. Make 2 points like this and make sure that they are curved. Okay, now again go down to the bottom over here, maybe a shorter point over here, and make sure that they're kind of curved too. From this point you're going to curve, and this point you're going to curve. Now first, don't make them too far apart, try and make them about the same distance away. Okay, obviously you have to kind of to use a ruler to do that. Alright, but that's basically how you do the general patch. Of course, there's so many ideas for patch. Alright, the spots over here, you can do so many of them. Okay, you can do a rectangle, square, patch, or the anime classic. But that's basically how you do the outline of it. Okay, so if you follow through everything, okay, you should have something like this. Alright, now I know I said in the beginning of the video that I'll ask you guys to kind of pause the video, but I kind of realized that actually I can't really say when to pause the video. That's you guys. Alright, so my responsibility is to kind of help you draw, and your responsibility is to pause the video every time, take down the lines over here, take down the dots, kind of try to understand the patterns, the straight lines over here. So that's the reason why for the rest of the video I didn't really say pause the video, because your capability and my capability are both at different levels. Okay, so yeah, but I mean, recommended is of course very simple. Okay, you do one part over here, you pause the video, you do the other part, you pause the video, you do this part, you pause the video, you do each leg, you pause the video. This kind of my style. All right, so now you're going to move on to coloring. Okay, so if you followed everything through, you should have something like this. Okay, now remember, this patches, the spots over here are completely optional. If you want, you can just add one of them for every leg, and two at the torso right here. If you want, you can put them somewhere here, up to you. Okay, now over here, okay, if you're happy with this, what you can do is you can just delete this layer right here. Now of course, if you're not, what you can do, okay, let's just undo it. What you can do is you can just hide the layer right here. Okay, now you can just measure if you like it and everything. Okay, this is completely up to you. Okay, but now you can only try to color Ivysaur, okay, only when you're happy with this. So if you are not, I would suggest that you pause it right now, figure out what is it that you don't like about your drawing that you've done, fix it, and then resume watching to do the coloring part. Alright, so to me, I'm happy, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, now we're going to create another layer. Okay, and sorry to those of you who are doing on paper, but I think very soon you won't be able to do this layer right here. Of course, you'll still be able to color Ivysaur, okay, but you won't be able to do the aura layer right here. Okay, so once we're done with coloring Ivysaur, for those of you who are doing on paper, goodbye. Okay, so Ivysaur basically is just going to be green and red. Okay, that's basically what Ivysaur is. So what you're gonna do is that for the body, okay, we're going to go to a normal green right here, and we're going to kind of darken it first. Alright, we want a dark green like this. We don't want a bright green, we want a slightly darker green. Okay, if you want, just take down numbers right here. Okay, so the coloring, we're just going to do this part. Okay, now we're going to go back again, and we're going to choose a darker color green, maybe something like this. Okay, and we're going to do the patches, and the fern. Now the fern, we're also going to do the small part over here, because as I said, it is kind of all connected together. Okay, now what we're going to do is that we are going to do the butt, which is basically just something like this. Of course, we're going to edit this part over here, and the eyes too. Okay, now you can kind of see that it looks a little bit much better. It doesn't look a bit more, it doesn't look creepy. Alright, okay, now we're going to do the eyes, which is obviously just black in color. The eyeballs, And there you have it, Ivysaur. Now for those of you who are doing on paper, this is good enough. Alright, I'm not so sure how you're going to do the aura, but if you can, then that's good. But of course, if you're doing on paper, I would kind of recommend you to use this app if you know how to do digital drawing. Okay, Sketchbook. Basically just download it on your mobile phone, your tablet, whatever. Okay, so but anyways, if you join this on paper, my aura layer will actually look something like this. Okay, so we're going to simply show you guys doing it on paper. Any color, okay, it's basically going to look like this. So if you have a marker or a pen or a brush that looks something like this, then it's good for you, use it. And it needs to be bright green like this. Sorry, hold on, bright green, maybe go around a bit below, yeah, something like this. Okay, so yeah, if you basically find a brush which is basically not straight, yes, white holes in between over here, that's good. But if you don't, then basically this is it for you guys on paper. Okay, so for those of you doing on paper, I would say goodbye to you guys. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching. For those of you doing on paper, I hope this helped you guys. Now for those of you who are doing it on a device, if you want, you can continue on. Okay, you can start by doing the aura. Now before we do that, okay, what you're gonna do is that you're going to choose the color white. Okay, make sure that, now this is very important, alright, make sure that you're on the Ivysaur layer right here. Okay, basically the top layer, and you are going to fill this part with white. Okay, kind of color spilled over here, sorry, it's my fault. Fill, yes, okay, fill. Okay, keep track. Okay, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and 1 2 3. Okay, now the reason why I did this, okay, I'm gonna give you guys the brief version of it. So basically, you know, I'm doing it on the bottom layer right here. So or I'm just changing back the color, so I'm going to show you guys. Okay, this is the brief version of it. If you guys really want the full detailed version, I'm actually making, as I said, a video all about layers, perspective, and all that coming out. I'll try to make it come out soon, but it'll still take me quite some time to come out with the ideas and the content first. Alright, so as you can see, I'm doing it all like this over here on the bottom layer. Okay, take note, the bottom layer right here. Okay, on the remaining still works, right? Now if I did not fill this with white, what would happen is exactly the same. It would fill in all over here. But because I use the fill option, okay, now it doesn't matter what color it is, it can be white, okay, it's still a fill. Okay, so when it goes in, okay, the system registers this as a filled color. So basically this white filled color overlaps the green, this green thing over here. Okay, now again, this same concept as doing over here. So for example, this green color right here is of course in the top layer. So as you can see, I'm doing this, right? So I move into this. Okay, my hand is still clicking on the mouse. Okay, trust me, my hand is still clicking on the mouse. You can see it's going over here. It comes up like this. Okay, actually what happens right here is that this green color part over here overlaps this part over here. So that's why I filled this part up with white, and I filled this part up with white. But why didn't I fill this part up with white? Classic example. So you see, if I didn't fill it with white, I can still draw inside over here. But of course, I'm not going to draw it inside here. Now, the aura layer, all you need to do very simply is just do the outline only. Alright, so you won't be touching on this part, just need to do the outline of it. Okay, there's the sharp part right here, it goes down. it goes down. Okay, now at this point over here it comes down over here. So if you didn't use the fill option right here, what's going to happen is that it will cut in over here. Now of course, if you have very steady hands, then this eyes part over here you may not need to do it. Okay, but recommended that you do the toes, the claws over here now. Okay, so basically just start off from any point. All right, there's no point to start off from. Okay, you can start off from here, you can start off from the tip over here. If you want, you can even start off over here, or if you want, you can even just start off at toe anywhere. Okay, just do the outline. Okay, basically, for example, I'm going to show you one part of it. For example, I'm going to start over here. Let's do it up, do it like this, turn it down, and basically do this whole thing for the rest of the drawing. Okay, so I'm going to come back with the completed aura book. Okay, so right here I have the completed work of, after doing the aura. So now leaving it like this, you can leave it like this, but to me, since I did all the aura over here, I would really like to bring out its effects. So on the same layer, this aura layer right here. Okay, now fun fact about it, right? So if you do the aura layer correctly, okay, it's a funny thing that you should be able to see the general outline of whatever you have drawn. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is a fun fact thing about it. Okay, so on the same layer, this aura layer right here, what you're gonna do now, this optional. I'm not saying that you have to do this. You want to do it, you can leave it at whatever color you like, but to me, I want to leave it simply as black, because when you do this, you can actually really see the aura layer come out. So now if there are any paper drawing people who are watching these videos right now, still so sorry they're unable to use this, but also, I mean, it's a good thing, right? I mean, at least now you can think, do you still want to continue doing paper, or do you want to try something out like this? Okay, I mean, up to you, the preference up to you. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to do this. Okay, now if you're using a device to draw but you can't find this on your app, then okay, I'm not so sure what to say about that, but basically it means that your app doesn't have the brush. Okay, now either what you can do is that you can try to find somewhat of a replaceable or an alternative, or you can just skip this part as well. Okay, this aura part right here, completely unnecessary. It is optional, but nevertheless, that's basically how you draw Ivysaur from Pokemon. So if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. And also, very important thing right now, if you face any trouble when doing this, what you can do is that on the screen right now, you should be able to see my Instagram. So what you can do is that you can just send it to me. Okay, send me your drawing too, okay, with the problem, so at least I know what to help you on, and if needed, I can help you even further. Okay, of course, you can also just send it to me using the link down in the description below. Okay, so I should be able to reply you within a day or two. At most it will take me a week, but that's only worst case scenario, right? That I'm really busy, then yeah, a week. But other than that, I think max I should be able to reply to you within 4 days. All right, give me 4 days. Okay, so yeah, now on the screen I think you should be able to see some videos. So yeah, you can just click on any one of them. Okay, so yes, as promised, I will be coming out with the whole video very soon, the whole layers video. So yeah, stick around for it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.